Everyone. I just wanted to give a quick demo of all the new features that have come to PhotoCuller since the last 1.3 release. So this is the new 1.4, and I'll just give a quick little demo. So one of the new features that was added was tabs. This was actually included in the last version that released, 1.3.3, I believe. However, now I've made it more visible by making the tab bar permanently visible, because before you could only see it if you opened the tab via the command T. So you'll see in the top here, we have tabs. You can open a new tab via command T, and you can shift between different tabs via the command 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 9 is the default shortcut. And you can also do Command Shift and the square bracket key to move forward and backwards between tabs. So that's one of the new features that was added. And tabs are remembered across app launches. So whatever tabs you have open will automatically reopen when you relaunch the app. Another new feature that was added was the ability to sort by, or not sort, but filter by unrated photos. So right now, if I just open up a new directory here, and we'll remove the rating off this photo here. So now there's a new option here for filter by unrated photos only. And another filter here that was improved was the color rating filter. It now has an inclusive or exclusive mode, meaning you can search or filter by photos that have a color label or photos that do not have the given color label. Another new feature that was added was the ability to see video files. So previously video files weren't included at all. So now if you have any movie files on your SD card, since we're all shooting on modern cameras, sometimes we do photo and video, they will now show in PhotoCuller. So you'll see a new file type here. In this case, it's a MOV file, and it will show this MOV tag to make it clear that it's a video file. And in the full screen view, you have the ability to play back the file. So that's a new feature that was just added. Another new feature is grouping. So you may have noticed this group option up in the toolbar. So now we have the ability to group by hour, day, week, month, and year. And so the way this works is it breaks the grid up into sections. So if I select the hour grouping, it will then group all the photos that were taken in that given hour. So this was taken at 12 p.m. These photos were taken at 1 p.m., 4 p.m., etc. There's some buttons here that lets you quickly skip to the next and previous groups. And we can do the same for day. So this will group by day, week, etc. And the last new improvement here is this grouping by stacks. So I think this is a nice complementary feature for the stack feature. So you'll notice in this collection, I have a lot of stacks. So these were taken at a car event. So I was doing a lot of burst shooting. And we can now click here and group by stack, and it will expand all the stacks and group them into sections. So now I can see each stack as a whole. And I can rate photos individually here. I can rearrange items in a stack, and we can kind of see all the stack operations here. Looks like there's a little bit of a bug here I'll have to address first. It seems it's shuffling the order around. Oh, that's because it's sorting by the file name. The next, yeah, so in the stack mode, all the filtering options are disabled, so you won't be able to do any filtering. That's because stacks are the stacks themselves. Maybe that can be something that can be improved in the future, but right now stacks are limited. It turns off all the filtering functionality and sorting functionality since you're looking at expanded stacks in this view. Everything works as expected. Another thing that was added is if I hit space to open full view, it will only open the film strip for this stack. So you can quickly look through the photos for the given stack. Another feature that was introduced was this new EXIF corrections panel on the right side here. So this lets you quickly adjust the data of your photos directly. So if you have the wrong timestamp or time on your photos, you can do adjustments here. So if I were to select this range of photos and do this date offset, it will show you a reference photo, which in this case is the first photo. And then here you can then adjust the offset, like how many hours or minutes or days, etc. And then you can apply this to all the photos to correct them. Another feature is the ability to add other metadata, such as the camera make, model, lens, ISO. So this became useful for me with film photography. So I have a collection of some film photos here, which obviously didn't include any sort of metadata on them. So using this tool, I was able to assign the camera model I was used and the ISO and the focal length. So this is useful for those kind of scenarios, or if you have some really old photos that are missing metadata, or if you're shooting with a manual lens that doesn't have any EXIF information, you can then associate all the metadata for that lens as well. So that's a new feature that was added here. And another thing is the sidebar on the left is persisted, meaning everything that's expanded in the tree here will be remembered. So next time you launch PhotoCuller, it will have the same state that you left it in before. So I think that's another great addition. Rather than everything always being collapsed every single time, it will remember your last session. And the final feature I wanted to demonstrate is the code replacements. So this is more of a power user feature. It's used commonly by sports photographers and event photographers to quickly assign metadata to IPTZ templates. And yeah, the way it works is inside the edit menu, there's this new code replacements section. And here's where you can add code replacement files. I won't go into too much detail of how this all works, but this is kind of a tool that comes from Photo Mechanic. And there's websites out there where sports photographers can download like all the tagging for teams and player names and player numbers. But it can also be used for other situations as a power user, which I will demonstrate here. So in here, a code replacement file is just a text file, which looks like this. And it has the first value is the variable, and then you can assign multiple replacements for each variable. So in this case, D1 has the first variable is Jeff, the second one is Jeff2, Jeff3. I've also added one for February, which has a value of Feb, and January, which has a value of Jan, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. So the way this works is if I go over to the IPTC editor and I want to do the caption, I can do equals D1, which was the first variable, which had Jeff, equals, and you'll notice it replaced it with Jeff. Let's say I want to grab the second value for D1. So I can go D1 number sign 2, which grabs the second value, and that replaced it with Jeff2. And then D1 number 3 would then, actually, I don't think yeah, Jeff3. Another feature is the variable expansion. So I can do equals month name. I think it won't work in this view, but the way this works is when you use the month name variable, it will render to January, for example. And if you do a code replacements and you say you want to have your month names in a different language, maybe you want your month names to be in French or German, etc., you can make a code replacements file where you map January to the different language. And then you can use this variable in all the workflows, and it would then replace the English month name with the translated one. So that's one use case. There's so many different things that you could use. So again, this is kind of like a power user feature, but it is now something that PhotoCuller has, from a feature taken from Photo Mechanic. So I think that is most of the new additions. Think, oh yeah, the keyboard navigation was also improved. So now in the sidebar, it now supports keyboard navigation. So you can use the up and down arrow keys. You can use the space to load a folder. You can use tab to switch between the sidebar and the main grid. So you can quickly jump back and forth. And some other little minor features. Actually, you can rename folders from here. So you can right click here and I can do a rename, and I can just rename that folder directly. And another feature that was added was the ability to add color labels to your folders. So for example, if I want this to have a green label, it will render it as a green highlight in the sidebar. So maybe I want this one to be blue and this one to be yellow. You'll see you can assign color labels to all of your folders in the sidebar. So that's another nice little addition, something that was taken from Photo Mechanic since they have this feature as well. And I think that's most of the new features that were added. The rest of it was little improvements to the backend code. And yeah, just wanted to give a quick little demo here. Thanks again for your support. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time.